Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited that you have jumped into this Facebook Live. I'm Chardette Mitchell. I'm an online strategist that primarily works with entrepreneurs to help them build their online platforms and personal brands so that they generate more revenue. But this particular Facebook Live is geared to and targeting and helping churches, ministries, and pastors. I want to talk about 5 things that churches and ministries can be doing right now. We're going to jump into that right after our quick intro. All right, welcome. I'm so excited that you are joining me here. I know that all of the streaming sites are sending out notifications. So hello to all those that are coming in from Facebook, all across Facebook and all across Periscope and YouTube and Twitter and all those great places. And so listen, if you are joining me live, go ahead and shout out in the comments. Just let us know what city you are watching from. And if you pastor, if you have a church or your ministry name, let us know in the comments. This conversation is for my ministries. This has kind of been on me for a little bit. And so I wanted to jump on. Those of you that follow me know that I primarily focus on entrepreneurs, small businesses, and I help them really build their online platforms and build their personal brands with services such as web design services, consulting, branding, and all of that. But I wanted to have a conversation on this Sunday. We are live on this Sunday because of COVID-19 and different impacts, in particular, that ministries and churches might be facing or find themselves facing in the future. So I want to give welcome to all those that are coming in. Again, shout out in the comments what city you are. I want to shout you out. Let us know in the comments which city you are watching from, and if you have a church or ministry, let us know the church or ministry's name. But I want to share 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. That's what we're chatting about on this Sunday. Hello, Nana. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's jump into the first tip. All right, the first tip. Now, this conversation is not about whether you had church or not. This conversation is not about the size of your ministry. It really actually doesn't matter. It's really about if the ministry has embraced some technology that will be beneficial for you in this time period and going forward. So the first tip that I want to share with those of you that are watching, and if you do know, if you have on your timeline ministries and pastors and stuff, definitely go ahead and share this broadcast out. But the first tip that I want to share for churches and ministries to do right now is to, number one, make sure you have a teleconference line. Yes, a teleconference line, because listen, the telephone still works. And the other beautiful thing about the telephone is that it doesn't even matter the supporters, the age of your supporters, or the age of your membership. Everybody has a phone, from the 8-year-old that's in youth ministries to the 72-year-old Mother Smith. They all have telephones. And so you want to embrace and utilize the telephone. Let me capture a comment I'm seeing. Thank you so much, Dr. Bryant, coming in from Long Island, New York. Thank you for being here with us. All right, so you want to embrace the telephone, and you definitely want to have a teleconference line. Now, here's the cool thing. There are free options. Now, this is a place that I feel that ministries have gravitated to. A lot of ministries have telephone conference lines. A lot of ministries have prayer lines that they do by way of telephone. So I think there are a lot of ministries that are in a good space with this. But if your ministry does not have a teleconference line, it's something free that you can get. Here's one that I can recommend for you, but literally you could go to Google and just Google teleconference lines, and you will have several options that pop up. Thank you so much for the hearts. So this is one that I recommend for you. FreeConferenceCallHD.com. So you can take out your phone, screenshot that, or you can come back to this video and capture that. But FreeConferenceCallHD.com is a free option for you. The reason why I like this option is that, of course, with the traditional, you get a telephone number, you get a code, and you can have members and supporters call in and listen in to various things like meetings, communication. You could do Bible study by way of telephone or teleconference, but this records in a higher quality. It records in an HD quality. So this is definitely something you want to have in your back pocket. So those that are coming on in and joining us, we're talking about 5 tips. 5 tips here for things for your ministry to do right now. 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now is what we are chatting about. And as you're coming on in, just let us know what city you're watching from and your ministry. I definitely want to shout you out. Hello, Pastor Stephen. Thank you. He said we use ours. It's really helpful. So his ministry is using a teleconference line, and you have a testimonial for a pastor that he is using that. Thank you so much for being with us. All right, so we're jumping back on in again. As you come on in, just let us know where you are coming on in from. And we're talking about the first tip of things for churches and ministries to do right now. Now, some of you might say, I don't even know who this girl is. Somebody forwarded this Facebook Live or this Periscope, or you might be watching on Twitter or YouTube, and you might say, I don't even know who this is. So let me pause because I see the numbers are adding up as people are coming in from everywhere. I'm Charvette Mitchell, and I primarily work with entrepreneurs to help them build their online platforms and personal brands so that they generate more revenue with an amazing online brand. However, this conversation is targeted to my ministries, churches, and again, if you have a physical church building or it's a ministry where you have supporters, this conversation is specifically for you guys. It's been on my heart the last couple of days. I'm very active in my church. Let me shout out my church, New Jerusalem International Christian Ministries, where my pastor is Bishop Joel Vincent Brown, and our founder and presiding prelate is Chief Apostle Olive C. Brown. And I'm active in my ministry, an elder in the ministry. And so I do a lot of the things that we're talking about today. And I wanted to share that. And listen, those of you that follow me for business, some of these things are good for you too as well. So if you don't have these things available in your business, you need to definitely catch them, and you need to take note of them. So hello, thank you so much for all those that are coming in. Hello. Thank you so much. Hello, Phyllis Arrington, Grace and Peace, New Canaan International Church in Richmond. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all those that are coming in. I see North Chesterfield, Virginia is here. Awesome. Thank you, Annalise. Thank you for watching as well. All right, and if you're just coming in, we are talking about 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. That's what we're chatting about. And in our first tip, we said set up a teleconference line. Set up a teleconference line. There's free options such as Free Conference Call HD, FreeConferenceCallHD.com. The reason why I like that is because it does have recording capability, and it records in HD quality. So how can you use a teleconference line? How do you use it? You use this for communication. A lot of what's going on right now with the coronavirus, with COVID-19, we just need to stay in communication with our members and our supporters. And so there's technology that we can use for this. But the reason why I put this number 1 is because, listen, Mother Smith may not be on Facebook. Mother Johnson may not be on Facebook, but Mother Smith and Mother Johnson have a telephone. All right. And so you don't want to leave out because our congregations and those that support our ministries, we have 8-year-olds, 5-year-olds, all the way up to 72-year-olds. And so you want to make sure you're able to cover everyone. So use a teleconference line for communication, for meetings, for Bible studies, for prayer services. Think about those things. Now, I talked about a free option. A free option is free conference call HD. And you can screenshot this or come back to the video. There is also one that's paid that I like. It's probably about $12, $15 a month. But this is a personal one I actually use in my business. It's called uberconference.com. And what I like about this is that you don't have a code. So there's a telephone number. You get to select the telephone number. It can be the number in your area code. And your members don't have to type in a code. So that's just another one there. All right, so let's move on. Tip number 2, if you are taking notes, hello to all those that are coming in. If you are taking notes, shout out to Pastor Stephen, who is a part of my Product and Course Academy, Restoration Assemblies, RVA, Restoration Assemblies in DC. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Awesome. I'm seeing some shout outs coming on in. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Eartha, all the way from Charlottesville. Thank you for popping in. All right. So number 2 for ministries. Again, this conversation is around 5 tips to help churches and ministries, things to do right now as we are in unprecedented times to help you stay in communication and also operate in a virtual way with your members in your organization. Number 2, Facebook Live. Facebook Live. Now, I know when I say Facebook Live, even when I talk about this on the business side, people kind of clutch their pearls. They kind of get nervous about Facebook Live. But let me tell you, Facebook Live is one of the greatest tools that you can be using for your ministry or your church right now. It has been, but it is very evident now. And you probably have seen, if you did not have service today and your service was on Facebook Live, or if your church wasn't on Facebook Live, but you've been on Facebook today, then you have seen the plethora of ministries that have taken the opportunity to leverage Facebook Live. Yes, yes, yes. You definitely want to use Facebook Live. Awesome, awesome. Latika said, that's a great tip about older members. My mom just sent her first text last week. Absolutely. You do not want to forget your older members. They may not be on social media, but they have a telephone. Hey, Hope, thank you so much for being here. A doseofhope.org. Thanks for all the shout outs. Hello, Pastor Gail. Thanks for being here. Okay, so number 2, as we're talking about 5 things for your churches and your ministries to do right now, Facebook Live, embrace Facebook Live. Now, how can you use Facebook Live? How can you use Facebook Live? You can use Facebook Live if you are having services, to broadcast the service, all right? If you are not having services, the pastor can come on and still do a service of sorts, can do Bible study. You can even use it as just a communication tool, a communication vehicle to let members know what's going on. So embrace Facebook Live. Embrace Facebook Live. It's something that you can be doing right now for your ministry. Again, welcome to all those that are coming in. We're talking about 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. And listen, this conversation is not about church size, because there could be a church that has 10 members and there could be a church that has 5,000 members. But if technology hasn't been embraced, we are in the same place. And it also doesn't have to do with how long your ministry has been in place. If your ministry is 5 days old, or a ministry that's been 100 years old, if technology hasn't been embraced, we're still in the same place. All right. So this is not a conversation about size or age of a ministry. It is really about how can we use tools to help communicate with our members and our supporters while we are in these unprecedented times. All right. For those that are coming in, thank you so much for watching. If you are a pastor or minister, shout out and let us know what city you are watching from, and also shout out your church right now. And go ahead and share this out if you have pastors and ministers on your timeline that may need, or if you are in the audio visual ministry, because this is not just on the pastor, because we are the church, right? And so if you are someone that is just good with social media and you could help your church at this time, if you're someone good with email and you could help your church at this time, pitch in and help. Pitch in and help. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. I see those tagging. Shout out to my mom, Betty Mitchell, who's watching, who is also a nurse. And so she is helping one of our responders, our first responders. All right. So let's jump back into our tips. So let's recap because people are coming on in. We're talking about 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. Tip number 1, set up a teleconference line. There are free options. There are paid options. You can use the teleconference line to stay in communication with your members, to have Bible study, to have prayer. You could also broadcast a service over the telephone. Think about that. All members, all ages can use telephone. So don't forget the power of the telephone. The second tip, I had to put it in here. I had to have it in here, is Facebook Live. Ministries of any size, of any age, 5 days old or 100 years old, consider embracing Facebook Live. If you are having services, how can you get on Facebook Live? If you're not having services in the building, perhaps the pastor or leader can do a Facebook Live. And I'm assuming that you have a Facebook business page or a Facebook like page for the ministry. That's something that you can set up today. I'm going to slide that tip in. That's a free tip I'm sliding in. If you have a ministry or a church, definitely use the free option that's on Facebook to set up a Facebook page for your church or ministry. But it is also effective for the pastor or a senior leader to go live from their personal page, and then you can share that around. Listen, it's about being real time and being able to do what we need to do to stay in communication with our members. So Facebook Lives are great for services, even for communication and kind of announcement updates, or for inspiration from the pastors or from the leaders, for Bible study. So embrace Facebook Live to stay in front of it. It's the next best thing to being in person. Live video is the next best thing to being in person. All right, let me capture some comments that are coming in. Yes, also a great tool for those that are committed to physically attending a particular ministry or not. Yes, thank you. So Evangelist Phyllis Arrington is saying, Facebook Live is great for those that haven't committed to a ministry yet. They're maybe looking for a ministry. And so this is a great way for them to get acclimated with your ministry before they actually step foot in the doors. And hopefully it will entice them to come in. Hello, Brother Ronald. Thank you for watching. Hello, Minister Rita. Thank you so much for watching. All right, so let's go on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, as we talk about 5 tips for churches and ministries to be doing right now. That's what we're talking about for those that are popping on in. And so let's talk about tip number 3. You want to make sure there are various ways for your members and supporters to still give during this time. You want to have various options for members and supporters to still be able to give to your church or your ministry at this time. So you see the first thing in the list is the mail. They have not stopped the mail service. The mailman is still running. And so I'm going to get into e-options and virtual options, but I didn't want to leave out that Mother Smith may want to mail her tithe check. Mother Johnson may want to mail her offering. And so don't forget that you can receive donations by way of mail, and make sure your membership knows that they can mail in a donation. All right. So don't forget about that. You also have Cash App. So there's Cash App that's available. A lot of people have access to that. So consider if that's a good fit for your church or ministry to have a Cash App. Also, there's tools like PayPal. PayPal has the ability for you to accept donations online by way of Visa, MasterCard, and all of that. So go to PayPal. If your ministry does not have a PayPal, go into paypal.com right now. After you watch this, go into paypal.com right now and set up a PayPal account for your church or ministry. It will allow people to give by way of credit card, debit card, virtually. You can do PayPal buttons. You can do an invoice. There are different things that people will be able to do. You will have a link that you can create. So consider that. Here's the other tip as we talk about making sure you have various ways for people to give as want to support your ministry. The last thing I have here is to contact your bank. So the bank where your account is, the ministry's account and the church bank account is, they may have other ways that people can give. So let me give you an example. With Wachovia, Wells Fargo now. I think it's well. That's why I'm stumbling because it's not Wachovia anymore. It's Wells Fargo. With Wells Fargo, if the other person has an account and somebody wants to give another Wells Fargo customer money, they can do it with a telephone number. They also have another option as well that you can give online. So just check with your bank if you are a church or ministry to see if your actual bank, you might already have credit card processing set up with your bank that you can do virtually. So just check with your bank to see if there are other things that you can do. All right. So that was tip number 3 about make sure you set up or have available different ways for your members to give. And again, if you're just popping in, we are sharing 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. And certainly this is in response to these unprecedented times that we're dealing with the coronavirus. But quite honestly, these are things that will help your ministry at any time, at any point in time. Awesome. Thank you so much for the comments. Yes. Yes, I see another comment. Get in touch with your music ministry. That's a great way for any of these. You can stay in communication with your music ministry. All right, so let's keep it moving as we continue talking about 5 tips that churches and ministries can do. Again, this doesn't matter the age or the size of the ministry. It's really more if you have embraced some technology. So that's where we are. Number 4, email. Email still works, ladies and gentlemen. Email works. And here's the thing, email is going to work really well for all age groups because there are a lot of people that have email. And so don't forget that email is a great communication tool. Hopefully you have some emails for current members. Let's hope that you do have that. If not, can you start? Can you start collecting or gathering emails for your members and your supporters? And guess what? Email them. Let them know what's going on. Are there changes to services? Are there other options of the ways that you guys are serving the community? So utilize email to communicate with your members and your supporters. And there are different platforms that are out there that'll help you do that effectively versus just dumping emails into your Gmail and sending out an email. But there's things like MailChimp. MailChimp.com will let you have up to 1,000 people in an email marketing platform complimentary. So you can gather emails, put them in MailChimp, start collecting them, and then you type up one email, hit a button, and it sends it to everyone in your email list. So consider getting email. All right, consider getting email. Welcome again to all those that are coming in. Minister Rita saying, excellent topic. You are welcome. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you see the value in this. All right, tip number 5, as we are continuing our conversations, and I'm seeing a lot of you come on in. Welcome to all those that are giving love and hearts that are listening from YouTube and Periscope and all across Facebook. I'm sharing 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now in response to, of course, the coronavirus. But quite honestly, these are things that will help anytime. These are things that will help your ministry at any time. So let's go to number 5, and then I'm going to do a recap. So we're on tip 5, but stick around because I will recap all of the tips. Update your website. If your church or ministry has a website, make updates to the site. Get with whoever's in charge of that and make updates to the website just to let your members know what's going on. Now, this highlights a point. If you don't have a website for your church, that's something that you want to definitely put on your list of things to get done. And it is one of the services that I do provide, so I'll be happy to chat with you. You can call charvette.com and set up a complimentary consultation. But this is the main website here that will give you information about that. But you want to update, if you have a website, you want to update the website in accordance to any changes or things that members want to know about. Anything, ways to give, maybe a video message from the pastor, something of that nature would be great to have on your website. All right, so 5 tips for churches and ministries to do right now. And for those that are just popping in, I'm seeing people coming all in. Let us know, shout us out in the comments. Let us know what city you're watching from. And if you have a church, let us know your church name. So let's go back to the top before I get out of your hair here. Tip number one, set up a teleconference line. There are free options and there are paid options. Every church and ministry, you can use a teleconference line for meetings, for prayers, for Bible studies, and you could even do a service by way of telephone. And the beautiful thing about the telephone is that all members, it doesn't matter their age, they have a telephone, so you don't have to worry about that. Embrace Facebook Live. So if you're anxious, if you're nervous, this is the time to get over that and either stream services or do a Bible study, or it could be an inspiration from the pastor or a leader to the members. The main thing is that you want to stay in communication with your membership. In particular, if you are in an area where you cannot go into the physical church to worship, this is a great way. Facebook Live is a great way to keep in contact with your members and to serve your supporters. Number three, set up various giving options. People can mail in. People can still mail in donations. Do you have a Cash App? Is that a good fit for your ministry? Are you all using, or do you have a PayPal account that will allow you to receive payment virtually? That's something you can go set up at paypal.com. Also contact your bank. Your bank may have other ways that people can give that you can communicate to your members and supporters. Tip number four, as we're winding on down here, email. Email your supporters. Email is still read. People still read their emails. People still read. Hello, Elder Takesha Brown. Hey, girl, hey. And Christ Worship Center, RVA, is checking in. Thank you so much for checking in. Yes, Wesley Memorial in Richmond is checking in. Just did the first time. Listen, let's give them some love. Just did their first time Facebook Live. Listen, you're still learning, but you are in it. This is an awesome time. This is an awesome time to jump into this. All right. Number four, email your supporters. That's the one. So don't forget that email is still powerful. And probably most supporters, it doesn't matter their age, where they are located, their demographic, pretty much everyone has email. And so you won't miss them out. And then number five is all about your website. So if your church or ministry has a website, make sure that's a communication tool. So if there are updates that are needed, make those updates or make an announcement on the homepage of the website. If you're saying, oh, we don't even have a website, that's something to put on your list to get done. And I'd be glad to have a conversation with you. That's a service we offer. So I've opened up some time on my calendar next week. So callsharvet.com is where you can schedule a complimentary consultation. For those that are here that have shared this out, thank you so much. I normally target my conversations to business owners and small and entrepreneurs, which quite honestly, business owners and entrepreneurs, if you don't have some of this stuff set up, you need to be working on this too. But this conversation was really around helping our churches and our ministries. Again, no matter what size, how old your church is, how young your church is really around have you embrace some of the technology and the tools that will help during this time and beyond. Because even if the coronavirus did not occur, these things are helpful for us in this day and age. So let me capture some of the last comments here that are coming on in. Well, you are welcome. Thank you, Lady Takesha. This is awesome. Thanks for sharing. You are welcome, Miss Smith. Absolutely. It is my honor to serve. Thank you, Phyllis. Evangelist Phyllis said, good stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. All right, I'm jumping off. I'm going to eat Sunday dinner. And I really appreciate all of you that are here and that are following and have stayed connected. Again, churches and ministries, absolutely. We are getting through this. And these are some tips and some tools that will help your ministry and your membership and your supporters during this time. Because we know that God has commanded the ravens to feed us and he will sustain us throughout this time. All right. Thank you so much for being here.